Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for, this is your April bonus reading is what it is. We're just gonna jump right in here. And Taurus, you have this juggling card. It says, prepare to be busy, juggling many roles or projects. You also have this angelic help card that says your angels are blessing you with new opportunities. So I feel like there are new opportunities coming in for you, but kind of like my intuition is telling me that you shouldn't be juggling, just so you know, and here you go. And I don't think you're juggling relationships. I feel like you are juggling like work or, something that you are working on. And, I kind of feel, look at this. You have 2 3s here. 3s can represent other people. And, the 3 of Cups can be a card of teamwork. So, if you are juggling too much, I feel like there are people who will help you or who could at least help you. So, I think it would be a good time to get help on the projects that you're working on. I also just get the feeling that, something needs to be created here is kind of what's popping into my head. And the reason I say that is you have the Devil, and we'll talk about this in a second, but, sometimes I feel the Devil represents creation. And we're actually, you know what? We're going to talk about it right now, Taurus. So, I feel like he represents creation. These people here on the card, they have these animal horns on their head. And, it kind of represents our baser instincts. It represents our, root chakra energy, as I always say. And so it kind of, to me, again, it doesn't represent creation. It represents the need for something to be created, the need for something to be expressed into the world. And so, I feel like that you are in a little bit of a creative space, and I feel like you need to, again, express something out into the world, because again, he represents that root chakra energy. So we have to bring it up to our head and put something into the world instead of just thinking about it, basically. But it's you're almost, maybe you're being held back by fear here, or it could be anything that you feel is controlling you. It could even be like a heartbreak, So if you've had a heartbreak in the past or in the recent past, some of you, just could be going through the healing period, but it could also be the thing that is maybe preventing you from moving forward. I don't think you're really being prevented from moving forward. Even this first row, in this reading, the first row just represents your general energies that you're dealing with. But I always say that the first row to me is also the past, just how you are entering into the reading, if that makes sense. And, this is the After Tarot, and you can see that this 3 of Swords has healed. It has these, kind of these bandages around it, and that is your heart. So I feel like you've been maybe at least working on healing yourself or healing things in your life. I also do feel, again, I feel like this first row is talking about balance. You do have this Libra season card as well, which would also talk about balance, obviously. But, this row, and this first row is more talking about kind of balancing things out. 8 of Pentacles is a card of working really hard, but it's a card of getting results. I always say it's a card of material success on the horizon. Basically, if you've been working towards something, it can represent success coming in. On this 8 of Pentacles, he's complete. He's done with what he was working on. And so, I feel for a lot of you that you're kind of getting to the end of this, anything you've been working really hard on, especially any projects or businesses. It's you're getting to the end of the project or something. With the 3 of Swords, you have the 8 of Pentacles. I would be careful of drowning yourself in work. If you're just working, trying to avoid thinking about something that you went through, this could say, don't try to numb the pain necessarily. I feel for some of you, it's more about healing from it, but you can't heal from it if you don't see it. So, people always ask me, why would I want to feel pain? And I always say, well, it's if you had a cut on your arm that was very super deep and you couldn't see it or feel it, you wouldn't be able to heal it. And it would just be there festering. So that's why we need to feel pain, because it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's meant to point something out that we don't like. And it says, don't just feel pain, heal it, go through the healing. And I feel this is saying don't bury yourself in work or whatever. With the Devil, you have the 3 of Swords. Some of you definitely went through a heartbreak or heartbreaking situation. It doesn't even have to be love. It could be anything emotional, that's going on here. But I feel like you are healing. Again, 3 of Swords is about forgiveness. And I feel like a lot of you have, I kind of feel like this is a theme that you've been going through maybe for the last couple of years, is the theme of forgiveness or forgiving situations. But sometimes I don't think we, kind of realize these themes in our life until, you know, I don't know, like a certain amount of time. And I feel like that certain amount of time is over. So I love this because I actually feel you're kind of like ending the need to, you know, keep experiencing these lessons, whatever, you know, whatever they are. With the Eight of Pentacles, yeah, you have the Star card, definitely a card of healing. And so, you know, the Star card comes up after the Tower. Can definitely represent healing after a difficult period of time. So it looks to me like you're kind of like fresh. I feel like you're like a brand new baby. It's like you're in that kind of rebirth energy here, especially when we get into your second row, and you're just like in a much better space. I also feel like you should start working towards something here, and I feel like you need to stop this right here, Taurus. Eight of Wands to the Five of Cups. It's like you're so freaking close. I feel like you're very close to making something happen, but that Five of Cups sometimes I feel can represent getting very close to, you know, achieving a goal, wish, or dream, but then, you know, kind of turning around or running away before you get too close. So I feel for some of you, this is saying like work through those fears. In your next row for the unexpected, you have this card that says all is flowing. You are truly open for success and the universe is supporting you. It says you have the ability to manifest what you desire now. You are finding your flow and success will follow. You are ready to receive. So yes, I feel like you are ready to receive. You have one of the best manifesting cards in this row, the Eight of Wands. And guess what? He is kind of like aiming towards the best card for manifestation, the Magician. And also the Seven of Cups can also be a card of manifestation because the Seven of Cups is a card of being spoiled for choice. And those Seven Cups might not exist. And he needs to kind of like choose a cup, focus on it, and make it happen. The Eight of Wands is exactly that. You know, I always say the Eight of Wands is like a card of momentum. And, you know, many law of attraction teachers and things like that talk about moving momentum in a new direction or moving it in the direction of the things that you want and desire. And that's exactly what I'd be doing here because clearly you have all this stuff about manifestation. I always tell people, even if you don't believe in the law of attraction, that's perfectly fine. Again, it's free to think more positively. It's free to just start thinking about things. You know, again, even if you don't believe in it, it's like thinking about things more positively is going to lead to more positive results. It doesn't have to be, you know, magical or anything like that. Although I think that, you know, definitely working with the energy is important. But I feel like your focus is going to be very important. You know, the Eight of Wands was traditionally your arrows of love, meaning you tell the universe what you want, and the universe, as far as love is concerned, the universe responds. But, you know, again, really, it could be anything. You tell the universe what you want, and I feel like the universe is responding with, like, opportunities, you know, maybe new tools as well I'm getting with the Magician, so like new ways of doing things. I think that you need to realize that something is over, going Nine of Swords, Five of Cups, and again, I'm not even talking about love here necessarily. I think it's just a repetitive cycle, and you know, as someone who has had many repetitive cycles in his life, I can tell you that I know that it's hard to end a cycle. And sometimes we don't even see the cycle. So again, I feel like some of you are trying to like heal past something here. There could be people that could be very helpful for you with the Three of Cups. I get some sort of boost up here as well. So for some of you, if we look at this, we go to the Queen of Wands, which would be a great increase in your confidence, feeling better, feeling like you actually are capable of doing something here. And that's what I feel. I also have the words making you something that you're not. Those are the words that just popped into my head. For some of you, this could be a relationship where a person tried to kind of like make you something that you're not. I don't know, it popped into my head. And that could be like what you are moving past. Very intuitive at this time as well. So I do believe that you need to kind of like trust your intuition. I also feel that, you know, I would like, you know, it reminds me of that book by Gay Hendricks that I can never remember the name of, The Big Leap, or I don't know, I'm at a loss for it. Someone will remember the book and I'll pin it down below. But basically, Gay Hendricks wrote a book, I think it's A Big Leap or something like that. In that book, he says, you know, if everything were to go 100% according to plan, what would that look like? Most of us, we enter into some sort of plan, like we want to start a business, get into a relationship, and we immediately start thinking about the things that could go wrong. Even if you're saying, no, I don't think about the things that could go wrong, we all do things when we get into relationships, for example. You know, we enter into the relationship doing things to try to make sure that the person doesn't leave us. So we're already entering into these things on the wrong foot. Same thing with business. What do? When we start a business, we try to make money so that we don't lose the business. We're already entering into it on the wrong foot. And so what I feel like this is saying is instead of doing that, can you enter into a situation here, and can you look at it as if it's already 100% perfect? And again, I'm not saying that it will be 100% perfect. People love to remind me how horrible the world is, and yeah, I totally get it, but, you know, as I always say, basically for all of human history, the only thing we have ever focused on, especially like when media and the news came around, is how horrible everything is, and it hasn't worked yet, right? Hasn't changed anything focusing on these things. So, you know, I think it would be much, much better to start thinking more positively. And that's what I would do here. I feel like that's what the Queen of Cups, or sorry, the High Priestess is saying. With the Three of Cups, you have the Devil and the Emperor here. Some of you could have been dealing with an Aries, or there could be an Aries in your life that was toxic. And that could be this like weird situation that's going on throughout the reading. So again, I don't even feel that you're attached to this person if it's a person. And, you know, it could also be a job for some of you. It could also be like the government or something that you're waiting for is what's popping into my head. The Emperor, you know, can just be something controlling. If we look at him on like a low vibrational level, which I kind of feel like there is something that has maybe been kind of like, you know, pulling you down here. And again, I'm offering solutions here, so let's not focus on the negative. But what I would say is I feel like this is like something that has had control over you, some sort of situation with the Emperor and the Devil, like a toxic situation. Could be a person, place, or thing. It's really not popping into my head as anything specific, but it's almost like you have to get out of that flow and into this much better flow is really what this reading is saying. With the Eight of Wands, Four of Pentacles, yes, everything has been the same for too long, and so you have to change your story. Four of Pentacles can represent holding on too tightly to the past. I feel like there's like a crazy amount of success that is available to you, Taurus, but you have to change the story. It's like you have to, you know, change that, whatever this is, this healing that seems to be going on here. But I do feel like you're healing, like I said, Star, the Three of Swords and the After Tarot. With the High Priestess, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I would just focus on one cup. You know, one cup. You have the Seven of Cups, but the Seven of Cups says focus on one cup. Seven of Cups says pick one cup and bring it down to earth. Pick one cup and make it happen. So it could be anything, whatever you want, Taurus. I would pick something, focus on it, and see it through to the end. Even in your next row of what you need to hear right now, you have this Libra season card. It says indecision causing delays. There you go. You have this harmony, balance, charm, beauty. Weigh each option and its consequences. So it might be a good time to actually look at those Seven Cups. Maybe you have, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that you feel like you want to accomplish right now. But, you know, I truly believe that we're in a time where we really have to focus on one thing at a time and accomplish one thing at a time. That does not mean that you can't work on multiple things at once. As I always say, I work on like 1,000 projects at a time. But when I'm working on tarot, for example, this is the only thing I focus on. I make sure that I am here, present, doing the readings, and I'm not thinking about everything else that I'm doing, right? And this, trust me, this was something that was very hard for me to wrap my head around and to get going, right? So that I'm not like drifting off thinking about other random stuff, right? So I really practice being present. When I'm after tarot, when I'm done with this for the day, I go work on other projects. I think I just think about that one thing in front of me. And I think if you can get into this space, you could accomplish more than you ever have in, you know, over the years, way, way more. You have the Five of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. Definitely some sort of disappointment that you have been dealing with, I feel. And I feel like you're not sure how to feel. You see how this guy, he's like, he's halfway on the After Tarot. He's halfway between like turning away from the 3 spilt cups, and he's almost turning towards the 2 cups. And when he does, he gets this bridge in the castle. So I always say that the 5 of Cups is a card of gratitude. It's like when we are grateful for what we do have, even if we have lost something or have lost our taste for something, that's the solution to the 5 of Cups. So, you know, I would practice gratitude, but I also do feel that some of you, it's like you almost have something that's drowning in your life. You can see this guy here, but it's like he can't save that person. That person has to save themselves. So I would be careful. You know, if you have anything in your life, like a person, place, or a thing that is drowning, I feel like you have to be careful of like how much energy you give it. There's something here about the nature of something. It is like what's popping into my head. And I feel like I've said this to you before. It reminds me of the story of the scorpion and the toad, scorpion and the turtle, scorpion and the frog, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, paraphrasing here, basically a scorpion asks a toad to go across the water, and he says, no, you're going to sting me in the back. Halfway across the water, the scorpion stings the toad, and the toad's like, why'd you sting me? And the scorpion says, because it's in my nature, right? And so I feel like there's like something, its nature is not to, you know, be successful for you. And for, you know, maybe that's a tough pill to swallow, I don't know. But, you know, it could be a person where it's like maybe they've just never been able to, reach your levels. Maybe they've never been able to kind of meet you halfway. Maybe they've never been able to, even do anything for you. But it's like the more you pour into them, I feel like the worse it gets. So I do feel like some of you, but again, I feel this is something you're healing from. And it's like you no longer need the approval of this person, if it's a person. It could also be a job I'm getting where it's like, I feel like you've been trying and trying and trying, but it's almost like the sunk cost fallacy. I feel like you're realizing how much you've put into something. There's no balance with that Libra season card, and it's like you're moving away from it. With the Seven of Cups here, yeah, I feel like you need to focus. Mercury retrograde this month, starting this month into May. I think it would be a great time to look at all the things that you want to do. And again, a lot of people say Mercury retrograde is not a great time to start things. I kind of disagree, but at the same time, if you want to just think oh, I want to start these 6 projects, but what should I work on? Plan it out. Mercury retrograde is a great time to do that, to just say, I want to do these things, but what should I do? Take the time during the retrograde to research, because research is rewarded during retrogrades. When any word that has the word R, has R-E before it, is a good thing to do during Mercury retrograde. That's my rule. Research, recover, release, something, all those things, right? Any reword, basically. So, what I would say here is that anything you can learn about the things you want to accomplish will lead to success. You have the Nine of Swords. See, I feel like you see something as never changing. It's like you see something, as stuck at a certain point. There's a theory in, there's a theory in psychology, for example, with people, some people who treat us badly in relationships, for example, maybe they had trauma when they're younger, but they could actually be stuck at that age, so if it happened at 13, they might be 33, but they might be 13. And I feel like some of you are having a realization like that. For others, this could be a job. It's like, an example of this at a job is maybe you're working for a company that you really wanted to work for, but maybe, maybe maybe the company's only ever made $1 million, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but maybe they've only made $1 million for the past 10 years. Every single year they make the same amount. It's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say other than I feel like some of you need to grow. And it's like you're like a bull who's stuck in a tiny little, one of those tiny little bull things that they put bulls in. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but I feel like you want to get out to pasture. It's like you want to go explore and set yourself free. I feel like you feel a little bit cramped up here. I feel like this reading feels a little bit negative, but it's not. So I know that the things that I'm saying might seem challenging, but I actually feel like there's no challenge here, because it's like once you focus, you have the Seven of Cups on one thing, I feel like you will be setting yourself free. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Seven of Swords. Fear, fear, fear. Fear is holding you back. 2 sevens, 2 sevens, 2 sevens. Right here, 2 sevens, 2 sevens. 2 sevens, internal fears don't exist. So I do feel like you have to let go of your fears to be set free. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. What did I say? I literally said the word research. Page of Swords is the card of research. It's also a card of immaturity, and I also said someone was stuck at a certain age. So some of you are dealing with something that is stuck. And this could be a person, place, or a thing. Like I said, take it how it resonates. This whole entire reading is about the same thing. I feel like your guides are helping you at the very least. In the area of the good stuff, this is going to be good no matter what. You have this Crow Spirit. It says, you'll soon be receiving news that will bring some blessed experience into your life. I don't think you see this yet. Again, I'm not trying to be mysterious here, but, I feel like there's something that could be coming in for you that you don't yet see. It's like a different order. I know... those are the words that are popping to my head. It happens in a different order. Could be love, and I would say that if it's love, I feel like maybe you are used to things going a certain way in a relationship. I feel like this is different. Like the order that things happen. Same thing with a job as well. It's like something unusual is happening with a job is what I'm getting. So if you're getting a new job, what I mean by this is something that's never happened to you before. And again, I'm not trying to be mysterious here. I think you could get hired on the spot, for example, and maybe that's never happened to you before. That's what I'm talking about. Something that doesn't normally happen on a job interview, or again, maybe you don't get hired on the spot, but maybe you leave. And when you get in the car, you get a call that they want to hire you. So it's it happens very quickly. For others, it's I feel you could be getting a job where you get paid more money as well that you weren't expecting. So again, not totally unexpected, but I just think there's a little bit something extra. I really feel the universe is trying to reward you here in whatever area of your life you're hoping for. You have the Queen of Wands, the Magician. And the King of Cups, I always pull the card that the Magician is pointing to. If he shows up in the last row, he's pointing to this one right here. So you have this card that says Success Vampires on it. It says people are taking away your time, your ideas, and draining your energy. Stand your ground. Face your Success Vampires. Devil twice showing up in your reading. And don't let them take from you. Whether it be sticking up for yourself or setting better boundaries, let them know that you are taking your power back. Again, this is the good stuff. So clearly, I feel that you are kind of like taking your power back from people who could be trying to steal it. The other thing is I kind of feel like you're standing out. You have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands represents unique energy. She's very unique. She's not like anyone else, and she does her own thing. She's also very confident. So I feel like you're stepping into a very confident period of time. I also feel like you're very attractive at this time, Taurus. So if you want love, definitely could be love coming in for you. You have the Magician, so there's something that you have attracted into your life, I feel. And again, I was getting the word order, like the way that something happens is different. So that could be a clue for you that you're doing the right thing. Like if you're spoiled for choice with that Seven of Cups, which it looks like you are because you have the Seven of Cups twice here, there could be a lot of options in, you know, whatever area of your life you want. But if you're confused about the decision to make, I feel like your answer is Magician. It's like, number one, you have the tools to do it. Number two, you probably prayed for it. Sometimes we pray for something, we ask the universe for something, it shows up, and then we're like, there's no way in hell it's that easy. So again, I kind of get that feeling where you could be doubting something that has shown up for you. The other thing that I'm getting is, again, the order of something. So I think that's something that will stand out to you. It's different than the others. It's like, maybe you go on a bunch of dates, everybody's the same, boring. I feel like you meet a new person, they're totally different. Right? The order that they do things is different. That's the word I keep getting, so that's what I pay attention to. You have the King of Cups. If you want love, could be attracting a King of Cups type person. I do get the feeling that some of you could be attracting a person, could be a water sign, could also be a Capricorn I'm getting here as well. So, you know, take it how it resonates. Could be any sign, could be another earth sign as well. So earth and water kind of stand out to me. So does fire, but, you know, that could be the toxic person you left. I feel like this person's kind of given up on love. So some of you, I would, you know, again, don't rush into anything, especially Mercury retrograde. People always say, can I get into a relationship during Mercury retrograde? I'm like, most astrologers would say no. But, you know, to me, it doesn't matter what's going on in the astrology. If something's meant for you, it's meant for you. It doesn't matter if there's a retrograde, if your mom's in retrograde, doesn't matter, right? So I always tell people, just do it and just keep in the back of your mind, yes, things are going to change after the retrograde. If you enter into a relationship during a retrograde, it's probably just going to be different after the retrograde. Maybe not a bad thing. Maybe the communication gets better. Maybe you clear up this sad sack right here. I feel like this person's a little sad. Is it a bad thing? No, I don't think they're going to be annoying, whiny, or anything like that. I just think maybe you feel like you have to do a little bit extra to get their attention. I feel like this person will pull their head out of their ass, you know, eventually. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And again, this isn't something like whiny, annoying, or anything like that. That's not the energy I'm getting. I feel like this person is just maybe a little focused on work as well or something. So keep that in the back of your mind. And again, same thing with business. Like if you're starting a business, people always say, can I start it during retrograde? I'm like, yes, but just know that you're probably going to make mistakes, which is fine. We learn from mistakes and things might change. Maybe you start a business, you think you're going one direction, but it actually goes another, but who cares? With the Queen of Wands, you have the Two of Wands. Yep, I feel like people are seeing you as a leader, you know, which makes perfect sense. Uranus in your sign, you know, it's all about freedom for you and also your values. So you know, if you are standing up for your values are clearly different than everyone else's. And so people are going to see you as a leader. With the Magician, you have the Sun. Yes, this is the only thing you need to focus on right here is the Magician. Your tools, the order that something happens, and something that makes you happy. Again, the Magician, he has these flowers on the card here, and it kind of represents the fact that that's what he focuses on. He focuses on joy, happiness, abundance, which I said on the Eight of Wands, to attract what he wants. So that's what you need to focus on here. With the King of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Again, this is the good stuff, so it doesn't matter if it shows up here, but I do feel that you could be attracting a person who is in this like a little bit of a emotional space. Again, not annoying. I want to stress, you know, obviously if you meet a person who's annoyingly emotional, don't do it, right? I feel like this person's very mature. I just think that maybe they're just kind of a little bit like, do I want to invest in this person, meaning you? And I think they do. I think they're just trying to make sure that they don't rush into something. I do get a little bit of overcorrection energy here. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. Like sometimes we get hurt, right? and we overcorrect, so we just don't show any interest at all in like the next person we meet. For example, this person, they could be doing that. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. That's what I'm trying to get at here, and I just think they could maybe do a little bit more. But I think that will happen, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. We're gonna pull 5 main themes. You have this Doctor card. A couple of signs have had this. You have these 3 of Swords twice. I would take care of your health. Devil, I would avoid like anything toxic in your life, just in general, point blank, plain and simple, period, right? Mercury retrograde. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I would just take care of your health. You have the Prison card. I feel like this is what you feel has kept you stuck. I kind of feel like a perspective shift would be very beneficial for you here. Again, just maybe seeing this situation that is controlling you or has controlled you, whatever it is, could be a limiting belief as well, is I feel like seeing it as like smaller than you. And again, not in a critical way. We're just saying like, maybe it's a person maybe you just realize, oh my God, this person's 40, but they're still 13. And, that's not my problem, right? I think that putting things into perspective could set you free here. You have this Room card. I don't like this card in this deck, so I always clarify it. And you have this Child card here. Some of you could be meeting a person that you will have children with, and that will probably provide a lot of security. But again, remember I said brand new baby to you, where it's almost like you're being reborn? I feel like the Room is like 4 of Pentacles energy. Didn't you have the 4 of Pentacles? Yes, you have the 4 of Pentacles. So I kind of get that energy of like something small. Remember I said the bull. That's like in the cow squeeze or whatever they call that thing. I have no freaking clue. But what I would say here is that I feel like a lot of you, it's like you feel like you've been stuck in this small space and you're trying to break out. So this baby feeling that I was getting, it's almost like you're being reborn. I might pull an extra card on that, just so you know. I did, but I want to get more detail on that. So let's finish and then go from there. You have the Sorrow card. Again, I'm telling you right now, again, I don't know how to say this. I would just say, if you're meeting a person who seems a little closed off, I would open your mouth. I would just say like, hey, why are you closed off? Or why is it hard to talk to you? And I think that's a thing. Like, I feel like this person's not a jerk. So I think they will be like, why am I being closed off? And then they will probably open up. So if you meet a person that you like, don't be afraid to speak up to this person, because I feel like they just need a little bit of a boost here. And finally, you have this Foe card. I would be careful of people's intentions. For whatever reason, I'm getting like a crazy message here that I feel like some of you have had a lot of life lessons with people who are close to you. Could be parents, family members, business partners. And I feel like you've had a lot of like negativity maybe over the years. I feel like that's about to change. But again, I always tell people, don't overcorrect. We talked about this actually, overcorrection of love. But I feel like this could be overcorrection on your side, where it's like maybe you've had a bunch of negativity in working together with other people. And I feel like you need to realize that there were just things you didn't see, and now you see those things. And I feel like you're moving past it. Not to make this reading any longer, but I just need more detail on this Child in this Room card. You have this Lovers card. I feel like it could be a lover that comes in for you if you want love. And that could be the thing that sets you free from that room. Yeah, and the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is letting go of the past, because, it's a card of a change in direction. So I also feel like you changing direction and making some sort of change. The Magician can represent a reinventing yourself. So, you kind of like focusing on yourself and also focusing on what you want. That is going to be the thing that sets you free. But pretty interesting reading here, Taurus. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.